So we are in a game between Topalov and Anand from 99. And we're entering this position in a seemingly complicated situation. So it's like some kind of Caro-Kann. Sticks out after the last example, right? Yeah. Queen b5, doubling. Knight b6, tripling. And then we get this position, and then this is really where it starts. This is where the game starts, really. Because how often do we see triple pawns, but also how often do we see a position to where it's 2 rooks and a knight versus 2 rooks and a knight? So the first thing we need to do here is probably what with white? Prevent the pawns from moving. Good. Fix a weakness. Simple, effective. With these natural moves, white restrains the black pawns, and he accepts will not be able to make pawn pushes himself. Now it's going to get much harder, because that was easy. Fix a weakness. Exploitation of the weakness is a completely different deal, though. H5 to prevent H5 at some point by white, if the knight moves. But yeah, I don't know. And it's okay to have that as an answer sometimes, especially when you're looking at a game between two former world champions. So how do we improve our position, and what's the plan here for white? What part of the board are we playing on? Queen side? Center? King side? How are we playing in the center? But why? Right, it's not so easy. Like, yeah, rook e1, rook e5. I mean, maybe I'd just go rook d5 and go, you want to trade? Make a draw? Like, I'm happy with the draw with black here. So it's not the queen side. That would help him. Doesn't seem like it's the center. So then we figure out it's the king side, and then it's a question of how.
Maybe you look at f4.
Anytime you go f4, his knight's going to have a great square on g4, which can be annoying in the long term. It's always nice when going through these types of positions, because once you hit upon it, we clearly can't let his knight in, so it's got to be f3. And that'll allow the king to move up. Our knight gets out of the way. We can eventually play g4. And if we have g and h pawns, we can eventually create a passed pawn with the g and h versus the g. Creating an imbalance, working on a passed pawn, and trying to win the game. So it's a plan. Now, I've got my long-term plan. Now I can go about it slowly. And remember, you can do it in 2 or doing it in 10. I like the rook e1 idea with keeping in my back pocket that I'm going to play f3, king f2, and then I'm going to see what happens in the position. But breaking it down step by step, and I can't remember this game either. I'm just completely guessing based off of the thinking process of what's most annoying, what's stopping counterplay, where should we be playing. I'm answering my own questions here. Simple. And the rationale is he's controlling the e4 square, not the g4 square, but, you know, I got it, I guess. g6, other rook to e1. And if he took here, that's a good question. What are you taking back with? That one's kind of hard. I have to think about it some.
I'll take out the pawn because maybe if I can double rooks and then get my king, like potentially if I could play d5 and also pass pawn.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I'm following your logic there because if knight takes, rook takes,
I don't really have anything.
right, you're not kicking his rook off the beautiful perch that it's on. Pawn takes, kicks the rook off, and then in the long term, king e3, and you can either double rooks on the f file first to see what's going on, or then come back and double the rooks on the d file, and then see what's going on. And you may even have ideas with the king on e3, pawn there to go rook f3, rook g3, rook g5 to bother that guy. So it just seems like in all variations here, taking with the pawn's accurate. But again, it's a situation of comparing two moves and then just evaluating. One is going to be clearly better than the other. He goes king g7. He avoids the trades. The beginning of a strong maneuver. The knight just wants to go to f4 to get that rook out of there. We couldn't get the rook out of there by that first means, so we come up with a creative second means of doing it.
Wonder what if you just lose
Rook f5, I'll probably go rook e5 there, and that seems pretty good. Just defending the h-pawn. Get back. Continuation of the plan. Next phase. The knight had to be on c6 to prevent the rook from going to e5, hitting the weak b pawn. Back to my original interpretation of the position. Slow and steady progress. Too much.
rook a3.
Mm-hmm. And just absolutely beautiful. And I love, it's like when we see a beautiful tactical game, it's one thing. It's not until you become a strong chess player that you can truly appreciate a beautiful endgame where one side just played effortless chess to win. And it all stemmed from a position that you can only win with one way. There's only one path here. And that's that true appreciation of the Karpov style of playing chess, is that when we got here, because we studied the first position, which is why I chose the order that I did, you're like, oh yeah, I triple pawns, that seems pretty good. And then when we get here, you're like, yeah, we don't want him to get rid of them. That's pretty good. But then when we get right here, you go, yeah, chess is hard. But hopefully the overall breakdown of what we've done in this so far with the videos has really shown you some more ideas in equal positions. And I mean, are they really equal though? Because like I could turn on the engine here, and the engine says that white's +1, but it's bouncing around as its secondary move considering f3. I mean, if I let it go for a long time here, it probably finds the right plan. But it's one of those situations that it likes f4. I am not so, and see, it abandoned that line with f4 that it was thinking about. Now it's only considering, oh, it's back to f4 again, with a rook to e1, one of them, and then f4. And it may work.
But we're not computers.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you're probably okay if you go with that plan. Just to me, it seemed like you're creating weaknesses in the long term. And it's unquestionable the way that Topalov played this game with White was excellent technique, starting with this strong F3 idea. And notice again what happened in the long term. As soon as H5 was played, it gave me that idea of F3, G4 at some point, and then I'm going to have the G and H against that guy, which will lead to the win, which is exactly what happened. And that'll end that one.